fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Oh. Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Sec's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, welcome race fans to SimSpeed TV here on the iRacing Esports Network. It is Dirt Night. Tuesday night Dirt Night is back and we are here for the Down Under Graphics ASC Series, the Australian Sprint Car Series, the premier online sprint car series in Australia. My name is Jay Kennedy. Alongside me in the booth is Brock Cat-Eye. Brock, it's going to be an awesome night of racing. It's going to be great fun here on the iRacing Esports Network. We're going to see a lot of top talented drivers here for tonight as well.
Yeah, good evening everybody and good evening Jay. It's really great to be back in the comms box after an extended break, but I'm looking forward to the racing tonight. Sprint cars are pretty new to me, but like you said, we have some massive names in the field tonight, likes of Lewis Hewitt, Tim Ryan, Jock Goodyear and more that I'm probably missing out on, but I think we're going to see some awesome racing here tonight, and we're in for a really great first round of this series.
Yeah, some big names and big named drivers out on track. The likes of Alex Bergeron currently leading the Pro Sprint Car Championship. Former champion, reigning champion Tim Ryan, as you said, also in the series, but heaps of contenders in the championship as well. Other drivers like Joel Berkeley, Cameron Dance, David Hillerman as well, all in this series as well. So there's going to be some big name players here for practice, because this is the track that they will use in the Pro Series next week. So this is a bit of early practice for these guys. A great chance for them to get out on track and get a feel for the circuit and understand how the track is behaving and how the racing will behave as well.
Well, that's it. We know these dirt races are really busy. They're short, they're fast, they're intense, and these drivers, they need to understand how this track's going to react with all these cars on the circuit and how their competition around them will react. So these sorts of series are great for their experience and great for them to understand what they're going to be walking into instead of, I guess, going in blindfolded. Practice on a track is really important, just lap after lap, but racing is paramount to understanding how you can work your car to get around your competition.
Exactly right. At the moment on screen, Lewis Hewitt currently leading the timesheets in this practice session, but Tim Ryan not too far behind in the familiar Altus Esports colours. So those guys at the top of the timesheet, Tom Callahan also from Altus Esports in third with Alex Bergeron in fourth position. So some close racing at the front of the field, only about 2/10 separating the front few guys. So we're going to have about 30 cars, so we will have 3 heat races tonight. And from there, the 3 heat races will then get us to a B main and an A main at the end as well. 30 lap A main with cautions also not counting, so the laps will not count in cautions. B main will be 15 laps with the heats being 10 laps each.
So yeah, again, that fast, intense racing, which dirt racing is known for in the oval racing, real world, sim world, wherever you watch dirt racing, it is intense. And these guys, they throw moves from wherever they can make them work. You know, that we see some hard racing, and these guys are committed to making sure their moves work. And you know, we were just talking about before the broadcast, you were explaining slide jobs to me and how that works, and you know that there's a lot of strategy and technicality to dirt racing that a lot of people don't quite understand when they first watch the series, but it really is quite interesting to see these guys muscle these 410s around these oval circuits.
Yeah, exactly right. And of course the track evolving throughout the night as well, so you see the line change very, very quickly as the night progresses. If you are new to this sort of racing, strap yourself in, because it is a lot of fun. All over, nice and quick, and very, very fast as well. So everything happens at the blink of an eyelid. We're not far away from getting qualifying underway. A different format for qualifying this season from our last season. Last season we did have 2-lap shootout qualifying for every driver on circuit. It will be the same in that it's a 2-lap shootout, but this time around there will be no... or all cars out on track at once, I should say. So it'll be a 5-minute qualifying session. Everyone will get their laps, and it will be all over very, very quickly. So make sure that we keep an eye on qualifying, because it will be intense, especially with how close the times are around this amazing Williams Grove circuit. So we look at our track weather. It's pretty good conditions for racing, night racing of course, so fairly warm. No real wind to worry about, so the track will not be impacted too much by that. 30 lap main tonight for this race around the half-mile Williams Grove Speedway. As we said, caution laps will not count, so those of you who are familiar with iRacing that know that the caution laps normally do count, but a little bit of a tweak to the system, and we're running a bit of a manual system, so bear with us if we have some issues with that, but hopefully it will make it a little bit easier for everyone to understand as well, and we'll hopefully have the overlays working properly for that as well.
That's it, and obviously being the first round of this series, it's a lot of testing to make sure that everything's going okay, but it will improve and make sure the racing is done on the track and not under safety car conditions, which is great to see. And I was just looking at some of the times up the top here, you know, it's crazy close up the very top here with some of these pro drivers there. You know, you've got not even a half a tenth in it between first and second place. Lewis Hewitt, Tim Ryan up there. I feel like tonight we're going to see some crazy awesome racing. And you know, a second, I know that the track's quite short and that sort of thing, but there's a lot of time to be gained and lost in these dirt tracks. Like you said, that line changing throughout the night, that can even change throughout practice and qualifying, and you know, it's always evolving. As we've seen in iRacing's new system that they brought in, which is amazing, and that means that you get to see the real skill in the drivers come out as they try to understand where the track is, where it's going to be, and how they can change their driving style to suit where this track will end up being by the end of the night.
Exactly right. They'll be trying to work themselves out now. We're about 90 seconds away, so they'll be getting the last little tweaks to the car before they get into qualifying. And as we said as well, this will double as the track that the guys will run in the iRacing World of Outlaws Pro Series here on the iRacing Esports Network next week, next Tuesday if you are in Australia and New Zealand, Tuesday morning, or Tuesday lunchtime, early afternoon in New Zealand, late morning in Australia, and of course Monday night if you are watching us from the USA here on the iRacing Esports Network. So make sure you do subscribe to keep up to date with all of the action here on the iRacing Esports Network, because there is so much coming up. There's so much more still to come later on in the year as well. It's going to be some really, really awesome things to come here on the iRacing Esports Network later on in the year. It's very, very important to subscribe, because you want to keep on top of everything that goes on.
And let's be honest here, Jay, with iRacing, they never stop. There's always something coming. There's always something new and fresh that's coming out on the iRacing Esports Network. So you're always ready for something new when you come and watch these videos. And of course, each week you come and watch these sorts of series. And there's some new names. There's some names that we know, and the racing's always phenomenal. So there's always a reason to come back to the iRacing Esports Network.
Of course, big announcement overnight when we woke up this morning to hear that the Audi TCR car coming, probably not in the next build, but not too far away. So we'll have some new racing that we can have here on the iRacing Esports Network with some TCR cars coming up. But drivers are done in the warm-up practice session. Qualifying is about to start now. So this is where it gets really, really crucial, really key for all these drivers. 2 laps, 5 minutes of qualifying. It will be all over in the blink of an eye. And it'll be interesting to see who can get to the top of the timesheet. So the usual contenders will be the likely ones to be up the top, but we'll see how they go. It's very, very tough track conditions out there. We'll see if we can pick up a few of the drivers as they go out and start their qualifying laps.
And that's the thing, they're only having 2 laps. It's tiny. On a track like this, there's a lot of room to make mistakes, and there's a lot of it's very easy to make those mistakes and ruin your qualifying time. A slight tap on the wall will get you loose and you're gone. The competition is massive in this, and if you lose a 10th or 2, that could shoot you down 3 or 4 positions. So watching Jock Goodyear now, he has hit the wall there, so that is one of his laps gone like that. So very interesting to see. Just as I was saying that, sorry, commentator's curse there, Jock, didn't mean to hurt you. But this could be a very interesting night to see how our contenders go. Obviously, that outside wall, it's not going to move for you, so you've got to be wary of that all the time.
Lewis Hewitt about to cross the line on his first flying lap. Does not count. Actually, sorry, it does. It puts him in 6th position, but the times are just shuffling so quickly at the moment. Daniel Stevens currently on top of the timesheets. Hewitt's one of the drivers that we would expect to be up the field a little bit more. And we'll cross the line with a low 18, but at the moment Daniel Stevens still quick time, an 18.104 at this present stage. Tom Callahan out there just starting his 2nd flying lap. We'll see what he can do. First lap did not count. Tough circuit, as we said. Corners get narrow very, very quickly, and crosses the line. He'll sit right in the top of, or the bottom of the top 5. Probably won't be overly happy with how that lap finishes. Joel Berkeley's also done on his lap. A few drivers yet to put in lap times. Tim Ryan, Alex Bergeron still yet to put in laps. Joel Berkeley, as we just saw, stopped on the circuit. Brenton Hobson also just puts in a lap time, and have a look at that time. Goes to P2. Good lap.
And we've just lost Carl Hoffmans from the server due to internet issues, so that could be interesting. And yet Brenton Hobson, after putting in that time in the wall, so that'll be no more times ready for him, but he's very close to the top there. Now we're looking at Alex Bergeron as he comes around, trying to set a time at the moment. He's close to that wall. Look at how close he's getting. Inches in it, not even that, right up against the top there, trying to see if he can get that maximum run onto the straight here. We'll see what sort of time he can come out with. We expect him again to be close to the top of the timesheets here. Daniel Stevens still holding that top spot for the time being, and we'll see where Bergeron comes out of this. Top of the timesheet, 17.9, about a 10th.5 faster than anybody else. That is a great lap there from Alex.
That's why he's leading the Pro Championship at the moment. Joel Berkeley, reigning champion in the ASC. We'll see what he can do. Of course, won the last time out. It was a really, really tight finale to the season last season out. See what he can do. Oh, a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. Had to get out of the throttle. That's cost him a bit of time. Bergeron's actually gone quicker on his 2nd lap. 17.890. Berkeley's got a lot of work to do on this lap. If he can get through turn 4 okay, he has to go to the inside. And this, I don't think, will be quick time. He will go to 2nd, though. A good lap to finish it off. He will start from pole in heat number 2. Looks like we're pretty much done. Tim Ryan about to cross the line, and he will move to 2nd position. 18.000 puts him 2nd position at the moment.
How interesting are those different lines to see, to try and find that? Bergeron was right along the top, Tim Ryan right along the bottom there trying to find that speed. That's the beauty of this dirt oval racing that we have, the sprint car racing, is that depending on the driver, the setup, the track, they find different ways to make the track work for them depending on what works for them in their driving style. Very, very different to most other types of motorsport. And it's great and interesting to see. And in the end there, Tim Ryan, only about a tenth off the likes of Alex Bergeron, but then still some tight competition in behind him there. So this is going to be interesting in the heats to see who comes out on top. Qualifying only spread by about a second between majority of the field, so that's quite good. So hopefully once we get to these heats, we're going to see some great racing tonight. And speaking of, we're only about 15 seconds away from the end of this session.
Yeah, as you said, very, very close times the whole way through. Only one driver did not get a lap time that is Jock Goodger. 28 drivers out on track, so we will have our 3 heats of 8 or 9 drivers. Bob King, the only other driver in the session that will not put in a lap time because he is race control for tonight. So big thank you to Bob for his hard work. Of course, we were delayed by 1 week. We were due to have round 1 last week, but due to some personal issues for Bob and myself, we had to lay it off a week. But thankfully, we're right to go tonight. Starting grid for heat number 1 on screen. Alex Bergeron and Daniel Stevens will be on the front row. That doesn't look right. Let me start that again. That looks better. Alex Bergeron, Daniel Stevens, Luke Muir, Tom Callahan, Brett Wheeler, John Schultz, Scott Butler, James Robbie, Brockwin Yang, and also Jock Goodger. So, should be a very, very competitive heat, this one. 10 drivers in this one. Bergeron be looking to take advantage of a little bit of a poor qualifying from Goodger and also Callahan as well.
And it is a very short heat. We've got 10 laps. Like that, in sprint car terms, you know, these laps we're looking at are just under 20 seconds long. That is nothing in a race. So Jock has a chance to move up the grid a bit here and try and get further up, but he's got to move fast and he's got to move quickly, hard to get those moves done and move up to be up with those guys like Bergeron, who very quick, and if he gets a good start, I imagine we'll probably start leaping away from this pack because his closest rival is just over about a tenth and a half away in terms of their qualifying time, and a couple of tenths away in terms of their practice, their sort of practice race time. So this is going to be really interesting to watch.
iRacing pace truck pulls away. So cool seeing pace truck out on circuit here at Williams Grove. Such a cool new addition when we got dirt a couple of years ago now. Amazing how long we've had dirt now. It feels like it was such a long time before we were going to get it, then all of a sudden it's here. And we've had some fantastic racing since we've had dirt, so thank you to iRacing for their continued hard work. New content coming out all the time. Some new dirt content, no doubt, coming along very, very soon as well. Bergeron and Stevens on the front row, Muir and Callahan on the second row, Brett Wheeler, John Schultz on the third row, Scott Butler and James Robbie on the fourth row, and fifth row, Brock Wingyan and also Jock Goodger. 10 car field in this 10 lap heat.
So nice little field here. Obviously, we've got the larger field that'll feature in the feature. Excuse me for the double use of the word there. But this will be interesting. The little short, sharp heats with little fields create intense racing that can fire up really quickly. So Bob King has put in the chat as well. There will be no cautions in the heats. So basically, it's game on for 10 laps. Go at it. We've got the pace car in now as we come around to the start here. That pace truck, I should call it. Waiting, and it looks like we have gone racing now. So great start up front there for Bergeron. He will be right out front, but we're already 2-3 wide through turn 1 there. That was nice and close, nearly causing an incident there. It's already all going off.
Brett Wheeler's got 2 in the first corner, straight around the outside. Great move into third straight away. 3 wide between Muir and Callahan, and they've made contact. Callahan's been a big loser out of that, and Scott Butler's taken advantage. Luke Muir did get away with it, but that's huge for Tom Callahan. James Robbie also around in the background, but it's a huge lead to Alex Bergeron at the moment. Daniel Stevens now feeling pressure from Luke Muir behind.
Yeah, some of these cars are struggling to find their lines in this race at the moment, so we'll keep watching some of these battles unfold. Right now, Tom Callahan, he's actually got to make a bit of a comeback here because he's been shuffled down the pack a little bit at the moment in 7th from 4th place. He did get a bit of contact there. He's lagging behind a bit, but just up ahead here we've got Scott Butler and Jock Goodger, having a nice little tussle here. Line astern at the moment. That top line seems to be the one working for people. As Tom Callahan, he's trying that bottom line to try and get, I guess what you call that slide job coming up the circuit. Just not quite working for him. The top line seems to be where it's at for the time being.
Across the line to finish for 6 laps to go, and now just saw there Scott Butler make heavy contact with the wall, and he might be damaged and out of this race. But Daniel Stevens is feeling pressure at the moment with Luke Muir and Jock Goodyear also involved now. It's getting pretty tight for the transfer spots as Stevens clips the wall.
Wow, that was nearly disaster for him, but he's come back pretty well out of that. He's coming back on Tom Callahan as we speak here. They're side by side. Callahan will try and take that low line. He's going to try and get under him here. We'll see if he'll be able to slide back up in front of him. Well done, he's gotten that done. Could have a little bit of damage there, Stevens, so he's dropped behind a little bit. Callahan making a good comeback through the field here. Luke Muir is his next target, and not looking quite as strong, but already we're on lap 7, so this race is going to be over very, very shortly.
That'll be 3 to go when they cross the line. And here comes Tom Callahan to take advantage, and he takes the position away. Into the top 4 goes Callahan. Luke Muir now back into 5th. So Bergeron now huge lead over Brett Wheeler, Jock Goodyear, and Tom Callahan. Top 4 at the moment. Luke Muir needs to find a little bit of pace because top 4 transfer through to the A main directly. The rest go through the B main and have to work their way through. So Luke Muir at the moment really needs to find a little bit more pace to get himself up into that top 4 positions, but it's Bergeron absolutely blitzing the field at the moment.
Which we did expect, and admittedly the craziness at that start, he got a great jump, and then the craziness has sort of let him run away with that in the clear here. So Tom Callahan is actually catching up to Jock Goodyear until he's hit the wall. He's on his side now, and he's doing some spinning there. Oh my goodness, he had such a good run to get back up the field into that transfer spot. Now escaping back to the pits, unfortunate for him.
And that's the transfer spot gone for him. So a MOTUM simulation replay on screen, and you just see looped it around, and that then puts Luke Muir through into the A main directly. Results on screen: Bergeron, Wheeler, Goodyear and Muir through to the A main directly. Daniel Stevens, John Schultz, Tom Callahan, James Robbie, Scott Butler and Brock Winyang all through to the B main. They're going to have to do it the hard way, the long way. So we get into heat number 2. Tim Ryan will start this one from pole with Brenton Hobson on the front row, Cameron Dance and Bradley Sanders on the second row, David Hillerman and Jordan McDonald on the third row, with Trent Gosling and Jacob Dixon on the fourth row, and Mick Wilson will be the last driver in this heat. Starting from 9th position, Tim Ryan, you would expect to drive away just as we saw in that last heat, but you can never discount Hobbo or Cameron Dance in these heats.
Yeah, I think we've actually got a fairly strong heat here, haven't we, Jay? You know, with the likes of Tim Ryan, Brenton Hobson, Cameron Dance, Jordan McDonnell has done pretty well in his dirt racing career and a few other series around. So, you know, there's quite a few guys in here that could make some moves, and I think you're right. Tim Ryan has got the pace to sort of move ahead of the field there, but like you said, Hobson and Dance, they could be wild cards in this sort of thing. They do have a good bit of pace in these dirt sprint cars. So I'm interested and curious to see how this ends up and who actually takes those spots. As we saw in the first heat, Tom Callahan looked to have that spot locked down, that transfer spot, and it got taken away from him on the last lap. So this will be really interesting to see. Does someone get upgraded to the A main purely because someone else on those last critical 2-3 laps makes a mistake?
And you can't discount David Hillerman as well, because he is a pro driver. He is in the World Championship series for the 410 sprint cars, so you can never discount him. We've got 3 pro drivers in this field and some very, very competitive drivers as well. You can't discount Trent Gosling as well. He's also done really, really well in this series in the past as well. So heaps of really competitive drivers. This is a really tough field.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I was just going to say, the one thing about this this series is there's no slouches in this series. Everyone is competitive.
Well, that's it, and that's sort of what we saw in that first heat, was the field didn't spread out too much, you know, except for Bergeron, who got that great lead. The field was quite compressed, and even in those dying laps, it's a short heat, but still, people were sort of looking for those slide jobs, sort of looking to to try and find the best way past and get those transfer spots. So I think you're very right. We're going to see some great racing here, and you're right. There are no slouches. Everyone here knows their sprint car and knows how to race them.
So the iRacing first safety truck or pace truck will pull into the pit lane this time, and we will go green for 10 laps of racing, heat number 2. So we get through our racing very, very quick here. And Ryan goes away, great jump, and Cameron Dance has gone with him. Very, very good jump as well. That inside line looks very, very strong. Watch out for Hellerman coming through as well. But Hobson did lose a spot, but he's coming straight back on Cameron Dance.
That's it. He's already on the inside there, trying to make that inside line work, which seems to be coming to the fore as the night goes on. But Dance right up top there, Hobbo and Dance side by side. Hobbo's going to grab that position for now. Nearly slides up into Tim Ryan there. Tries to block off Dance. Dance gets the run. That is very, very close racing there. Dance will have that spot for now. Tim not getting the run. Now, Dance in the first position. Oh, that is so close. He's blocked off Tim Ryan there. He will have that first position for the time being. There, 3 wide in the background. There is Hobbo. In the middle of that sandwich. They're nearly making contact with Tim Ryan again. It is going off at the front of the pack. Amazing battle there. A little mistake from Tim Ryan and almost contact, and there's contact between Hobson and Ryan, and Hobson's in the wall. That is his race done. Huge gap at the front of the field now. Bradley Sanders into 3rd, and Jordan McDonald's got himself up into 4th position. That's a great effort from Jordan there, coming back from where he was. He's done a great job. Now he's got to watch himself. He's nearly getting cut off there, but he's still got that position for now. Back up the front though, Tim Ryan right on the back of Cameron Dance. Tim had a few issues on those first couple of laps, but now looking to come back strong. His car is coming in, and Dance is definitely under threat for that first place. Definitely is. There's a fair bit of pressure. Trent Gosling has made his way back to the pit, so he's got some issues. Here comes Tim Ryan. Huge dive to the inside. Great slide job. Dance will try and come back. Will he be able to come back through 3 and 4? Some great battling, and he does. But Ryan back down the inside again. Great move from Tim Ryan. These guys, they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to dirt racing. These guys in the Pro Series are the people that help write the playbook of dirt racing. So this is some awesome racing we're seeing between the two of them at the moment. Tim Ryan got that lead fairly convincingly for now, but we'll see how we go as we come across the line with 3 more laps remaining. In the background though, Jordan McDonnell has fallen victim to the likes of David Hallerman and Bradley Sanders. He's trying to follow the lines that Hallerman's using here, but not quite able to catch him. But that number 49 car closing in on Sanders. We only have really a couple of laps left to go this next time round, and Dance at the front still hanging in there. But Hallerman, he's trying to find a way around. He's up, down, trying to look all over the track. He's gone to the low line there, but won't quite be able to get it. No, wow, he's got a good run off the bottom there. Yeah, great drive in the number 49. Did finish in the podium positions in the Pro Series this morning at Eldora. White flag this time by last lap. Tim Ryan holding off Cameron Dance. I don't think Dance will have anything to come back at him at this point of the race. And Tim Ryan will hold on for the win. Cameron Dance in 2nd. David Hallerman will hold on for 3rd, and Bradley Sanders will take the last transfer spot. McDonnell, Wilson, Hobson, Dixon and Gosley will all have to come through the B main, which is going to be a tough ask because it is going to be one competitive field. The B main tonight with quite a few drivers who will be thoroughly disappointed that they're in the B main as opposed to directly into the A main. Well, that's it, and like I said, the competition levels, as if they weren't high enough, now you throw some of the better drivers into that B main, and it's just going to heat up even more. So, excuse me, we have seen some awesome racing like that. Those exchanges between the likes of Tim Ryan and Cameron Dance were awesome, and just showed you what sprint car racing is all about. You know, trying to slide up the inside, make those different lines work with your setups and the driving style, which was really awesome to see. Joel Berkeley and Carl Hoffman's on the front row for Heat 3 with Lewis Hewitt and Dylan Sharman on the second row. Third row, James Rice and Vince Romeo. And then Harry Stewart, John McKenzie and Jacob Penno take out the rest of this grid. John McKenzie actually has not taken to the start, so it looks like we will be 1 car short. In this one, we'll be an 8-car field. The final heat of the night. We're
almost at the halfway point already. It's amazing how quick these races go. Now, Berkeley will be looking to capitalise and get away to a great start.
That's it, and that's, as we've seen in the last couple of heats, that is quite important. Although Tim Ryan made a couple of mistakes there that meant that Dance and Hobson got to catch up just a little bit, but for Bergeron, that start made his race. So, again, really important here, Joel Berkeley, a guy we expect to see quite far up the field, so this is important for him to make this work, get that start, and secure this win.
Exactly right. That is very, very important to make sure that they do get the jump. 3 TTL esports drivers inside the top 4 will be doing their best to try and work together and get a jump and clear away from the rest of the field. Watch for James Rice in 5th position in that number 5 for Synergy Sim Racing. New to that team over the summer break, and he'll be looking to capitalise in his new team. The iRacing Pace truck will pull into the pits this time. Berkeley will lead the field away through turn 3 and 4. This is going to be an intense heat for sure. Berkeley away, and have a look at all the TTL guys working well together to get away. Lewis Hewitt, great jump. Dylan Sharman, but look at James Rice with a great start.
Yeah, it's busy in the background there. Berkeley got the start that he needed, but it's definitely on in the background there. The 3 and the 20, the 9 and the 23 there, side by side, battling it out hard. In the background, he's trying to make it work, won't quite get there. The 9 loose off the wall there, and he'll keep on going there. So now, as this race settles into this second lap here, that 23 car coming around the outside of the 5, trying to make it work. That's Carl Hoffman, who had the internet issues earlier on. That number 5 car sliding back just a bit, but the likes of Berkeley and Hewitt screaming away from this pack at the moment.
It's all happening in the final transfer spot at the moment. Hoffman's holding off James Rice. He's gone to the inside. Not quite able to get the slide job going, but he might be able to do it in a 3 and 4. Still not quite close enough. Does look like he's got pace. Well, there's a big incident in the background. Dylan Sharman involved there. Something huge has happened to Sharman, also to Carl Hoffman's as well. So 2 huge incidents there which have absolutely changed the way that the transfer spots are going to unfold. We need to get a replay because that was intense there between those guys. Watch Sharman as Lewis Hewitt actually starting to close up. So Sharman hits the wall really, really hard. And then Hoffman's a little bit sideways as James Rice come through, and then there was heavy contact between them two, and there is a fight for the lead on between Berkeley and Hewitt now. Berkeley's just doing enough to hold off Lewis Hewitt.
Just at the moment, you know, we're coming around the lap 7 next time around. Oh, and Berkeley's touched the wall. That is not going to help him on that outside line there. He's managed to just keep it for the time being. But Hewitt is there, and he's looking for this. Hewitt goes right down low. Berkeley touches that wall again, ruining a bit of a run there. He's going to try get it up the inside. He will for now. Right down into here, turn 3 and 4. As we come back around, we're going to be looking into lap 8 now with a few laps to go. These guys are trading blows each time they go around turn 1 and 2, turn 3 and 4. Back and forth, back and forth. Great racing between the two of them and great respect.
Some great fighting between teammates. Had numerous changes for the lead as we come up to finish 8 laps, 2 to go. Berkeley has the advantage for now, but Lewis Hewitt looks like he might have the pace if he can just get this slide job to work, but not quite able to again, and Berkeley comes back. Just maintaining the momentum, just got so much control to be able to hold off Lewis Hewitt at the moment. Vince Romeo's just holding off Harry Stewart, but there's no real fighting behind there for the 4th and 5th positions. James Rice is a little bit off the pace as Hewitt's hit the wall hard, and that will end that battle. And Joel Berkeley will come across the line and pick up the win. Dominant heat win for TTL Esports, but they'll be disappointed with Dylan Sharman having those issues as Berkeley spins it around and just wins the race in the end.
Just a bit of fun at the end there. That was some great battling, but Berkeley and Hewitt, they definitely liked that arm code, didn't they? Like leaving their stripes on there. So, but in the end there, Berkeley, Hewitt, Sharman, excuse me, my results have just gone astray here. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Jay, you read the results. My iRacing's been a bit silly here.
Yeah, Berkeley, Hewitt, Romeo and Stewart go through with James Rice. Jacob Penno Carl Hoffmans and Dylan Sharman all going through into this B main, which is coming up now. Also Joe McKenzie into the B main as well, which the field looks like this. Daniel Stevens and Jordan McDonald into on the front row, with James Rice and John Schultz on the second row, Milk Wilson, Jacob Penno on the third row, Tom Callahan and Brenton Hobson on the fourth row. Watch for that row there to be some exciting action as those two try and make their way through the field. Carl Hoffmans and James Robbie on the fifth row, with Jacob Dixon and Dylan Sharman on the sixth row, Scott Butler, Trent Gostley on the seventh row, John McKenzie and Brock Wing Jan on the eighth row. Bob King will not take to the start because he is sitting in the race control booth. But some drivers in this heat which are going to be not happy about being in the B main. Top 8 go through.
Well, this is going to be an interesting race. Like you said, we've got a lot of good competition in this heat here, and some guys that can come through. Slightly longer heat as well, 5 laps more, and excuse me, that 1 lap more is all you need really to get those moves done. So 5 laps more can mean the difference between a transfer spot and not. And of course, the top 8 from this 17 car heat will go through to the final bit, to the feature race that we've got coming up. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm definitely curious to see who comes through here. We've got a good mix of drivers throughout the field here. Some guys who have pace and had bad luck, and some guys who have a great chance of getting through to the A main and making a good time of it and really getting a good position out of it.
Yep, there's a lot of drivers that really shouldn't be in this B main. Dylan Sharman, Tom Callahan, Brenton Hobson all had pretty good races, but just didn't quite work out in the end. James Rice as well, very, very pacey. And Daniel Stevens qualified right up the pointy end, but just didn't have a race that he would love to remember. Also, Jordan McDonald right at the front of the field here, also very, very competitive driver. So we're going to see a really action-packed heat. Top 8 go through, which will then give us a 20-car field in the A main tonight for 30 laps of racing. Looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. It's going to be intense.
That's for sure, and with the quality of racing that we've seen here tonight, you can guarantee that more of that is going to carry through. And I think that with some of our World Championship Pro drivers, that they're really going to put on a good show for us tonight. But that pace truck is in the pit lane now as we go around, and we're waiting for Daniel Stevens to choose when he's going to leap away from the field. He's made that decision. He got a fairly good start, so he's got a decent lead on the field here coming into turn 1, but the rest of the field will peel through, already going nearly 3 wide through turn 1 and 2 there. McDonald is on the outside of 2 wide now as he flashes a little bit. So this will be interesting to see. Oh, a little bit of contact there between McDonald and the 78 of John Schultz coming into turn 3 and 4.
And Tom Callahan's been the big mover in that start procedure. So he moves up into 5th, Brenton Hobson up into 6th position. Dylan Sharman, have a look at him coming through as they're nearly 4 wide coming out of turn 2 on lap number 2. This is the transfer area. Brenton Hobson now currently in 9th position. He is in the cutoff spot right now. He needs to make some moves. Jacob Penno also in here trying to hold off, as you see just ahead, side by side, James Rice, Tom Callahan and John Schultz as well. Some great fighting in this race so far, and it's on for the lead as well between Daniel Stevens and Jordan McDonald.
It's going on everywhere at the moment. So McDonald has come back after that, after a start that wasn't great for him and falling back a little bit. Now he's around the outside of Daniel Stevens coming to turn 3 and 4. He's going to try go down low. Not going to work as well as what he hoped on turn 3, but turn 4 he might be able to make something work.
Stevens!
Daniel Stevens got very loose there and taking the front wheels off the ground there, so he's lost massive momentum. McDonald at the front though, not completely out of trouble. He's still got Callahan to worry about. A little bit behind here, but looking very, very strong. And Daniel Stevens has been swallowed up by the pack here, still falling back a little bit. Now back with Hobbo, who's in 7th position at the last lap, and we'll see where they come across the line here. Daniel Stevens still in 6th position there, so he's still in the transfer, but lost a lot of time there.
And Dylan Sharman's also lost a lot of ground. He's back in 11th position now. So need to see how he goes as it's on in the middle of the transfer spots right now. Brockwing Jan out of the race. And this is on here between Schultz, Rice, Hoffman, Stevens and Hobson. 5-car battle. All 5 at the moment are in through to the main. They've just got to be careful. Scott Butler, Brockwing Jan and also Dylan Sharman are out of this race. So there's only 11 drivers left. And 9 go through. Trent Gostley currently in 9th. He's right there, ready to pounce on James Robbie just ahead.
Yeah, this is intense. This is the word I've been using all night. My word of the day is intense for these guys. A little bit of contact between the 23 and the 78. The number 66 of Daniel Stevens flies down the inside there, trying to make up for those mistakes earlier. But this is some absolutely awesome racing here, Jay. We are seeing some top-class dirt racing, respectful but hard. As these guys, they're really trying to battle hard for those transfer spots to determine where they will start in that A main. So the 23 comes through hard there. He tries to go back down the inside, goes up high. This battle pack, there's no way of telling who is going to end up where by the end of this race.
You can't discount, as we said, Trent Gostley's just sitting there in 9th position, waiting to capitalise on a mistake, and Daniel Stevens has just done that, hit the wall hard, and here comes Gostley to try and take that away in the 4 car, and also Brenton Hobson's made a mistake. Coming out of turn 2, this is getting very, very tight between these guys. 2/3 of the way done, 5 laps to go. And Daniel Stevens now in the cut-off spot. He is out at the moment. He and Gostley side by side, and Gostley goes through. Not quite on James Robbie. This is some great fighting between these guys at the moment.
Gostley is putting in a great effort here. Like you said, he sat there and waited, and now he's just trying to fight back. He's right on the inside there of Stevens and the number 41 of Robbie as well, trying to make it work. Robbie gets a fairly good run off of the corner, but Stevens and Gostley side by side fighting for that transfer spot like their lives depend on it. Stevens gets held up. Oh, wow, that came so close. John Schultz nearly took Gostley with him there.
Go back to the front because it is on for the lead. Tom Callahan is right there to take advantage of any mistake, any minor error from Jordan McDonald. And there it is! The two leaders into the wall! McDonald and Callahan both in the wall. Callahan is out of the race. McDonald is out of the race. So Hoffman's into the lead. James Rice in 2nd. Brenton Hobson in 3rd. Wow!
What a game changer. What a game changer. This is what sprint car racing is all about. They were battling hard, but now they're out, they're gone. See you later. Have a good night. Now Brenton Hobson and James Rice, is out leading the race. Carl Hoffmans and Brenton Hobson are battling it out a little bit here. And this battle pack just all of a sudden became the battle pack for the lead. As now we're on our last lap here now. So James Rice is coming around to potentially collect that win there. Hobson nearly collects a little bit of the wall, but it looks like he will come around to take 2nd position in the end in all of this. What a crazy end of that race, Jay. You could not have scripted that.
Not at all. We need to get a replay of what exactly happened there between McDonald and Callahan. And we will get that replay for you right now. Hopefully we will. Let's see if we can get it up on screen. Hopefully the replay gods work for us tonight. They sometimes don't. Looks like we are going to be able to get a MOTUM simulation replay up on screen for you right now. So this is the incident between McDonald and Callahan. It looks like McDonald just clipped one of the tyres only slightly, and nowhere to go for Tom Callahan, and he is out of the race. It was all over before he even realised.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there. Callahan, obviously in that situation, didn't really do anything wrong. He was just trying to be nice and close to McDonnell there, maybe force a mistake, and in the end, that's what happened. But it took him with McDonnell. So really unfortunate there. Callahan had driven a great race and was just trying to stick in there and try and get those transfer positions. So unfortunate to see, but that's sprint car racing. That's racing in general. You know, these things happen. So now it gives another couple of guys a chance to go up to this A main and see what they've got against some of our top guys.
So the 8 on screen go through to the A main. Up next, Rice, Hobson, Hoffman, Robbie, Gostley, Stevens, Schultz and Penno. And the drivers that are done for the night: Wilson, McDonald, Callahan, Sharman, Butler, Wingjan, Dixon and McKenzie. We're going to take a very, very short break here on SimSpeed TV on the iRacing Esports Network. When we come back, it is A main time. Cannot wait. Make sure you stick with us here. Racing will get underway very, very soon.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chile Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to SimSpeed TV here on the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Down Under Graphics ASC, the Australian Sprint Car Series, the premier sprint car series in Australia and New Zealand. This is round one from Williamsgrove, and we have seen some amazing racing so far. If you do like what you are seeing, make sure you do subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. We have plenty of racing action each and every day here on the network. All sorts of racing, from oval racing, road racing, dirt racing, and everything in between as well. Occasionally some rallycross as well. Of course, Rallycross Pro Series starting soon as well. All Pro Series well and truly into the action-packed stages, whether it be qualifying or the racing itself. My name is Jay Kennedy. Alongside me in the booth for tonight, Brock Cat-Eye. Brock, this has been your first experience in the booth for dirt racing, and I must say you have thoroughly enjoyed it, I'm pretty sure.
I'm blown away. I've never been much of a sprint car man myself. You know, I've always loved road racing, but this is really cool. And the way these guys muscle the cars around the circuit to try and make them work, you know, bottom line, middle line, top line, whatever they can to really get this car around and make those passes work. And the chopping and changing of positions, you know, using that lower line to perform those slide jobs, using that outer line to get the run off the corners. There is some awesome technique these guys employ, and to have some of our pro drivers too for the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Championship as well is awesome as well, because they're pro drivers for a reason, and they're there because they're great at what they do. So it's cool to see the way they employ the passing tactics, the way they handle their cars and understand them. So yeah, it's been a pleasure commentating this first round of the series.
So the A-Main about to get underway, 30 laps of racing, and it will be green flag laps only as well. So we do have a manual system in place. Hopefully it all works successfully, and we will have no issues with the manual system that we have in place for tonight to have our racing underway. So fingers crossed it all works, and we have no issues. The grid for this race though is on screen, and Alex Bergeron, Tim Ryan, Joel Berkeley and Brett Wheeler the top four. Cameron Dance, Lewis Hewitt on the third row, with Jock Goodyear, David Hillerman on the fourth, with Vince Romeo and Luke Muir, Bradley Sanders, Harry Stewart, James Rice, Brenton Hobson, Carl Hoffmans, James Robbie, Trent Gossley, Daniel Stevens, and then John Schultz and Jacob Penno round out the rest of the field. We are about to get underway here at Williamsgrove for 30 laps of racing. Looking forward to seeing how this plays out. 30 laps is going to go by so quick, but a little bit of an adjustment for a lot of these guys. They may not have done a lot of racing where the caution laps do not count, so making sure you understand that is going to be very, very important.
That's exactly it. So it's a different mindset when those caution laps don't count, because you basically, it's a reset on exactly where you were. Of course, in a lot of other forms of racing, caution laps do count. So basically, you've got to have a different mindset coming into this one and think, I've still got time. You know, if this caution happens on lap 15, they still will have another 15 laps to get these moves done. So It'll be really interesting to see. Again, not something I've had a lot of exposure to because caution laps have counted in a lot of the series I've commentated on, but that's just going to make it all that more interesting and make like I said, make those mindsets of the drivers out there a lot different for what they would be used to, like you said, Jay. So I'm curious to see how they go. We do have a 20-car field here, so it's going to be pretty busy out there for these 30 laps.
Sure, we will be busy out on track. 20 cars, 30 laps. So we get ready to get underway for the A main for tonight. Big thank you to everyone who has supported this series in the background and helped get it back underway down under graphics. And also to Bob King as well for his hard work behind the scenes as we get ready to go. Green flag is about to fly for the first time in our A main for this season. Alex Bergeron and Tim Ryan on the front row. We are underway in a great jump from Joel Berkeley. And he will take advantage straight away past his rival as a big contact there between Cameron Dance and also Tim Ryan. We stay green though, as there's a car around in the wall in the background. That's Luke Muir. We're still green, no heavy contact. And somehow we're still green. There's a caution.
Car.
Yep, there's the caution.
Well, that was interesting.
It sure was. As,
It
Carl Hoffman's was the car around at the end there, but also had Cameron Dance involved in an issue as well. So we'll try and get a replay of how that all unfolded.
I think from what I saw, Tim Ryan got a little bit loose, either tapped or loose, and then that was at the very start of the race there. And then Cam Dance has come around and he's found him, and then it's all gone downhill from there. So and then obviously that's balked the field coming into turn 3 and 4, and then from there, obviously we've got our safety car. So now looking at this MOTUM simulation replay here, Tim Ryan, he's gone down low, he's got a bit of a hit from Cam Dance. There it is there, slowed him up. Dance has been pushed up, and that's slowed up the rest of the field there as they try to find their positions. These cars, immense acceleration, so you've really got to pick your spots. We have a slow car, Luke Muir, who's up in the wall there, and that's where it all goes wrong in turn 3 and 4 when Carl Hoffman spins around as well. So a lot going on in that first lap there, and a very intense first lap for this A main, and a bit messier than what we've seen for the rest of these heats tonight.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy start to the race there, and Hoffman's just clipped that inside wall, which is a little bit unusual. You don't usually see drivers clip that inside wall. You usually see them a little bit wider and then clip the tyres potentially, but not the wall. But we come back to get ready to go under green flag conditions. It will be the 5th lap of racing, but it will be officially our 2nd lap in this race. And now little ticker on screen looks like it's working okay at the moment, so that's good. So
I'm gonna let you keep track of the laps because I'm gonna forget what lap we're on at some stage.
Just add 3 or take off 3 to whatever lap number we're on, and that'll help you out. So Bergeron will get ready to go. Berkeley and Brett Wheeler also a great start. He's got into 3rd straight away, so really good jump. As we go green. And a great jump for Bergeron, and Brett Wheeler looking to take advantage straight away on Joel Berkeley, who's run wide. He's got Lewis Hewitt out on the outside as well, and David Hillerman going that way as well. Tim Ryan back in 6th, trying to make some moves and get himself back to the front where he thinks he should be.
Yeah, an unfortunate first lap for him meant that he's now sunk back into the pack a little bit there. But Berkeley, he actually hit the wall on that top line there, which slowed him up a little bit and let Brett Wheeler through. So that was not great for him to begin this race. But throughout the field, actually, everyone else is actually spread out fairly nicely just to get this racing underway. But up towards the front of the pack here, Joel Berkeley battling it out with Brett Wheeler and then behind, and we've got another pace car here. Do you know what that one's for, Jay?
Yeah, Luke Muir around at turn 3. We'll see if we can pick up what's happened to Luke. So, fine through turns 1 and 2. Some through 3 and 4. Coming up to turn 3 that he's had an issue. There's possibly contact between he and the 4 of Trent Gosling, and there was heavy contact. Also, James Rice involved there too, so he was lucky to get away with that. So we come back to live pictures. Bergeron will be disappointed with that because he had a huge lead.
Well, that's it. And Bergeron, in that heat, we saw him when he was left by himself. he was gone. We weren't gonna see him for the rest of the race. But this sort of stop-start, that might not benefit him as much as what he would like. You know, he can keep sprinting away, but if these guys, their cars come in a little bit later in the stint, they could be on it a bit more. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we'll go pace car free for a little bit longer of this race and really see who's got the pace and where the lines start to develop. Obviously with the cars racing on circuit, those lines will develop faster. And we'll start to really understand what this race will look like coming into the mid to late stages.
Saw James Rice is out of the race. So three drivers out of the race now, with Rice, Muir and Hoffman's all out of the race. James Rice with heavy damage from that hit he had when Muir was around after the incident with Trent Gosling, and Gosling is at the rear of the field after that one as well. So get ready to go. Green flag this time by to restart the race. Be lap 4 from our understanding. Our graphic should hopefully be right. It may be slightly incorrect because it is manual number counting, so hopefully our numbers match up to what the officials are saying. As we get the green flag, Alex Bergeron will lead the field away, but Brett Wheeler did a great job in the first start and the restart, but not quite as good this time, and Joel Berkeley's going to try and take advantage straight away. Oh, it's contact between Hellman and Hewitt, and Tim Ryan goes through on both of them. And have a look at Hobson.
That was really important for Tim Ryan there, and Hobson as well. He is looking very, very strong at the moment, round the outside of Hewitt there, who made that contact with the 49 ahead of him. So that is of David Heilemann. So these guys, it's not clean racing at the moment, not what we've seen in the heats. And another pace car. This is a bit stop-start at the moment.
This is a little bit messy at the moment. Jock Goodger and Daniel Stevens involved in an incident there. We'll see if we can pick up exactly what's happened there. Goodger's just hit the wall on the outside, and as he's come back down, Daniel Stevens nowhere to go but into the side of Jock Goodger's car, and Goodger is out of the race, unfortunately. So our third caution already. The admins have set this up for 30 laps, but the way it's going, we might not even see that.
It's it's a bit messier than what we came to expect. I was expecting a lot of good racing, but not quite as messy as this. Excuse me, but look, we might see. I think everyone just needs to take it down a notch in a sense. I think, and just, you know, we've got 30 laps is quite long comparatively. You know, it's 3 times the size of our heat races that we had, and double the size of that consolation, that B main race, I should say. So. Yeah, these guys, we just need to look at the race and go, we've got time here. You know, it's 30 laps. I know for most people, a 30-lap race in sprint cars is nothing, but for these guys, it's probably an eternity. So hopefully we'll see some cleaner racing coming up next, and it's just been a bit of a mistake from someone has led to another person, a domino effect, if you will. Another person gets caught up in another person, and then we've got a pace truck, excuse me. Need to get used to saying pace truck in the dirt series. I'm so used to saying pace car these days.
It's a hold habit to try and break, the pace car. Even saying pace car from safety cars is always difficult as well. So Bergeron will come around to get the 1 to go message this time by. You'll see the lights come off the iRacing pace truck as it crosses the line. The pace car driver being kept very, very busy in this A main so far. Brett Wheeler second, Berkeley third, but Bergeron in the lead, and Tim Ryan has closed up quite a lot. Took advantage of that little mistake between Hellerman and Hewitt, and we'll see if he can capitalise on that. We're down to 16 cars in the race. Daniel Stevens, as we said, was involved in that one after making contact with Goodger with nowhere to go, but it looks like his car's come out okay. He might be relatively undamaged, so we'll see if he can take advantage and maybe make his way back forward again.
Exactly, and like I was saying, Bob King has written in chat as we go green again, lap 5, so that gives you an idea of where we're at in this race. So they come across the start-finish line here. Bergeron, not a great start. Brett Wheeler is right on the back of him there, doesn't get a great run there. Berkeley around the outside, side by side with Tim Ryan as they come down into turn 3 for now what is lap 5. So Berkeley on the top there, Ryan on the bottom, trying to see who can make that line work. Berkeley on the outside there looks to have a fairly good line, and he's got Tim Ryan for now. We'll see how that ends up, but a little bit cleaner at the moment. The number 48, David Heilemann, up in the wall there, slowing up a little bit. Hobson will be on his inside, trying to make that work and continue his charge through the pack. He started 14th, now will be 7th or 6th here.
Yeah, Brett Wheeler's just made a little mistake. Berkeley is through and into second position, although Berkeley's loving that outside line and he's trying to make it work, but Brett Wheeler also doing a great job on the inside, making it work as well. Hellerman and Hobson still side by side down the back straight. Hellerman doing a great job working that outside line. It looks like Berkeley and Hellerman, the only two that are really running the outside at the moment. Everyone else absolutely hogging that inside line. Berkeley looks like he might have finally got it finished, and he's clear now of Brett Wheeler into second position.
So, and he's just rubbed the wall there.
Contact!
But Wheeler, oh no, Tim Ryan and Wheeler are stopped on the apex of turn 3 and 4 there. That is really not what you want, and pace car again. So, Brett Wheeler has gone from second place, doing an absolutely amazing job, to last on track. So, that is really not good for him. Just a little mistake there and then a little tap from Tim Ryan. Now, Tim Ryan in all of that has ended up 7th place, so tonight just is not his night. Even further back, I think some cars are still passing him here on this pace lap. And actually, no, sorry, he's been given an end of line penalty, so he will go back behind everyone else. And look, I think the supporters of Altus might need to look away for this one. It's just been an unfortunate night for Tim. It's not been quite what he was looking for.
You can see from the onboard there was a fairly heavy impact that started the spin there for Brett Wheeler, and as you said, Tim Ryan getting an end-of-line penalty. Probably no real surprise. As soon as Tim made contact, I'm sure he would have thought, yep, I might as well start slowing down and letting everyone by, because that was a fairly unfortunate incident there for Tim Ryan. He'd done such a great job to get himself back up into contention, and now he's got to do it all again. So we are on lap number 9. When we get the green flag, we will start lap 10. We've still got 21 laps of green flag running to go in this race. Alex Bergeron has led every lap so far, but now he's got Joel Berkeley and Lewis Hewitt. He's got himself back up into 3rd. They're right behind him, ready to take advantage and to pounce. They will likely work together as well to try and hunt down Bergeron.
You bet, definitely. So this is going to be an interesting next part of this race. So I'm curious to see how we go. Bergeron's start's been pretty good the whole night, as we've seen. You know, he's just leapt away and not been harmed, but with the likes of these TTL guys behind him, Hobson as well is up there in 4th place. So these guys fairly strong with dirt, fairly experienced. Can they take it to Bergeron and sort of show what they've got? That pace truck is now in the pit lane as we wait for Bergeron to start this race up again here as they come around turn 4. Bergeron a little bit dodgy there, but still gets a fairly good start. There now in the background, Hobson is under threat here by the 49 of Heilemann, already coming into turn 2. But the front of the field here fairly well spread out at the moment.
It looks like it's a little bit more controlled than it was at the last restart. Everyone's spread a little bit more, but at the back of the field, let's see Tim Ryan and Brett Wheeler make their way through. They've had some incredible pace tonight, but now they've got to do it the hard way and get all the way back through the field. Vince Romeo and Cameron Dance side by side, 3 wide through turn 2. And on the inside, this is contact between Harry Stewart and also Cameron Dance and Vince Romeo. Trent Gosling all involved there. John Schultz and James Robbie also involved, but we stay green for now as we start lap number 12. Alex Bergeron getting a bit of a buffer now to Lewis Hewitt. You just see on the screen, Harry Stewart's just dropped 3 or 4 spots there, and Tim Ryan is through on him. So Harry Stewart having a little bit of trouble here, trying to take advantage of that decent position at the restart. Tim Ryan is back up into the top 10 already.
He's doing well. He is absolutely carving up this field at the moment, making passes left, right and centre to try and get back up the front there. But he's already 5.6 seconds off the lead and 5 seconds off of second place. So he's losing immense time. He's going to need another safety car, pace truck I should say, to really make this work. But already under the number 4 there of Gosling, he is moving through this pack at the moment. Very, very impressive stuff.
Yep, Brett Wheeler's only been able to get back to 14th position as Bradley Sanders is out of the race. It's Cameron Dance now feeling the pressure as he gets back past the car of Vince Romeo and Tim Ryan side by side with Trent Gosling. He'll get the position finally clear The front of the field, it is all spread. But Romeo, Dance, Ryan and Gosley, also James Robbie in there, very, very close. So we come up to finish the first 15 laps of racing. And we're into the second half of this main event for tonight. Romeo now going to have to defend from Trent Gosley as there's almost contact. Cam Dance, Tim Ryan have heavy contact, and now this is going to shuffle this pack up.
Oh, that is not what Tim Ryan needed. He was doing so well there. So now this is an angry little pack we've got here. So Dance has lost a position out of that now. He's going to try and work his way back around the outside here. Ryan was basically making it look like everybody else was walking and he was running the way he was working through that pack there. And contact again!
Oh,
Ryan is
big
spun
hit.
around there. We've got a pace truck is going to be coming out on track now. That is Ryan. I'm going to assume that is Ryan's race over there. That sums up his night right there. So he's coming to turn 3 there. The likes of Gosley and Dance have balked. Ryan has tried to go under Gosley there, made a little bit of contact. I think maybe hit the wall and just been spun around. So really, really unfortunate there for him. And yeah, just not Tim Ryan or Altus Esports night tonight.
There was a little bit of contact between Gosley and just shuffled Ryan into the wall on the inside a little bit. Wasn't a huge amount of contact. It was just enough for Tim Ryan to clip that wall. And that is his night done. So we're down to 13 left now. Daniel Stevens, the last runner in this race. Tim Ryan, Harry Stewart, Bradley Sanders, Jock Goodyear, James Rice, Luke Muir and Carl Hoffman's all out of the race. Brett Wheeler got himself back up into 10th position after that restart, but Bergeron will not be happy because he had a great lead out the front there.
How frustrating must this be for the likes of Bergeron to be, yeah, you know, you're working this lead up and you're doing so well, and then take it all away from you again. Like, that was a great green flag run from him, and it was all ruined by this pace truck again. So he's got to work that back up again, and he's doing such a great job tonight. Berkeley just couldn't stay with him, neither could Hewitt. So I'm really interested to see how this goes. Bob King in chat has put down lap 17 complete, so we do have about 13 laps to go in this race, so really not that long to make things work.
There we are past the halfway point of this race. As we said, 30 lap race, but only green flag laps count. So if we were running the normal iRacing system, we would already be finished at this point. The drivers are on their 32nd lap, but only 17 have counted. So a little bit too aggressive from some of the drivers. Too many caution periods for a lot of this field. There'll be a lot of unhappy drivers in that aspect, but we get ready to go green this time by Bergeron leading the field from Berkeley, Hewitt and Hellerman now up into 4th position. Brenton Hobson in 5th. Green flag flies, and have a look at that really, really good jump from Bergeron, but Hewitt under a lot of pressure straight away from David Hellerman. Will he be able to get this position? Yeah, good move.
That is a great move. Hellerman looked racy right from the get-go there out of turn 4 onto here, and he's gotten around the outside of Hewitt there. Hewitt's looking to try and come back. Berkeley is very in love with that top line tonight, and he's making it work for him, so Hellerman will stay there in 3rd position at the moment. But again, fairly clean start here. Berkeley around the outside. Hellerman tries to go up and get him, but won't make it work at the moment. In the background, Dance is battling it out hard there with the likes of Vince Romeo.
Oh, Berkeley!
As well.
Berkeley in the wall.
Berkeley's gone round. Oh, and Romeo's collected him. Gosley's gone with them. Another pace car. Oh, my goodness. This is a bit incident-ridden.
Here's Berkeley just clipped the wall there on the outside. I think a little bit of a lapse of concentration. Maybe the track conditions just changed a little bit. Hit the wall hard. And then Hobson nowhere to go but right into the side of Joel Berkeley. And then I believe that was Vince Romeo then made the secondary contact. And we're back under caution again on lap number 19. Only got 2 green flag laps in there. Alex Bergeron be loving the fact that he's led every lap, but he'll be getting a little disappointed that this race is not as clean as he would have liked.
That's it. I mean, for him, it's been beautiful. He has managed this beautifully. After each restart, great restart, gets into a rhythm, and he's gone. That is exactly what you expect from someone of his caliber being up there and being a pro driver. He is just he goes out there and he laps like he's in practice almost, which is great to see. But you want to get into that rhythm and stay in that rhythm. You don't want to be stop-start. Admittedly, it means he doesn't have to deal with traffic, though, which is probably a blessing in disguise for him. But we've seen him time and time again on these restarts. He does it really, really well. But now we're looking, right now I think we have 12 cars on track, so we've nearly lost half the field in all of this. Berkeley's been given an end of line penalty as well, so he will be right from the back there. A lot of shuffling in all this. There's been a few end of line penalties, a few incidents. It's quite exciting and honestly hard to keep track of with the pace of everything. Even with these pacing periods, there's still a lot to try and catch up on, even in a couple of laps.
Yeah, exactly right. There's always something going on in these races. As you said, we're down to 12 cars on track. Brett Wheeler is done for the night. Not sure exactly what's happened there, but he is out of the race, and we will get green flag next time by. As the lights come off the iRacing pace truck, Alex Bergeron will come back to lead the field as they get ready to start the 20th lap of green flag running. And hopefully we'll stay green till the end, because the pace laps are starting to drag this race out just a little bit.
That's it, yeah. You know, these dirt guys are used to really quick, sharp races. So this is definitely a little bit longer than what they're used to in these pace periods. They drag, considering how fast sprint car racing is, they do drag on a bit, but now that pace truck is in, so we're coming around to 11 to go now, as we wait for Bergeron to take the start line, and here he goes, Heilemann right up behind him, having made his way up a little bit through from 8th place, actually. That's a great effort from him. Heilemann goes up high there. Bergeron still with a good start. In the background here, Hobson battling it out with Cameron Dance for 4th and 5th position here. Dance gets, I think, just got the back of Hobson there. Getting up a little bit on the back. And we've got a car. Vince Romeo is around pace period again.
Yeah, heavy hit for Vince Romeo. Upside down, that car will be done. See if we can pick up a MOTUM simulation replay and work out exactly what happened there to Vince Romeo. Yeah. He'd been going along pretty decent all night, but just seemed to find himself in the action a lot of the race. And it looks like just clipped the tyre bundle on the inside, and that just unsettled the car across the front wing, also missing off that car from an earlier incident as well. So that would have hurt the pace on that car. When we go green next time, we will have 10 laps to go.
Yeah, 10 laps, that's the length of the heat, and that is nothing, you know, considering these are less than 20-second laps, basically, you know, you're looking at a few minutes, but we've seen that these pace periods, they have turned up a lot in this race for whatever reason. I mean, this track is an interesting track, a little bit different. I mean, each of these dirt tracks has its own character, you know, it's quite different to one another, and this one here, like you said, these corners narrow up a bit, so some of the drivers, they go burning in there. They can't pull the car up, so that's the issue here. And then also those fences on the inside, the gaps have been playing havoc with the drivers tonight, which is really interesting to see how so many drivers have actually fallen victim to the fences around here on the inside, not the outside. Just clipping that fence and then flipping the car over.
It's the nature of the beast when the track is so slick. You're just trying to find every last little bit of grip you can, and hugging the inside wall usually where there's been no dirt flung off, so that's why they're trying to hug the inside as close as they can. But I think we might see a few less do that now, and maybe go back to the outside, as the track has evolved quite a lot in the last 20 odd minutes of racing. So we get ready to go green once again for the 8th time in this race. 7 caution periods so far. Hopefully we get green to the end as we get ready to start lap number 21 of green flag running. This will complete 20 and we'll get ready to go green this time by. Alex Bergeron leads the field away. A little bit of a hit from David Hillerman as we get ready to go green, but green flag does fly, and a really good jump again from Bergeron. And look at Brenton Hobson trying to go to the outside now. Everyone else has hugged that inside again, but Hobson now trying the outside, getting a little bit adventurous.
Good to see that even at this point in the race, guys are still trying to try new lines and try different things and see where that pace is. So Bergeron again, great start from him. He's really cleared out a little bit and made it work. But Heilemann still trying those different lines, seeing if he can make it work to get up on Bergeron, trying anything really to try and catch him, because Bergeron has just been untouchable tonight.
Definitely has. Cameron Dance is under pressure from James Robbie. At the moment, Robbie not quite able to take advantage. Joel Berkeley making that outside work. We said he's been loving the outside. He's already got back up into 8th position after the previous restart, starting at the back of the field, but we've got 8 laps to go. Lap number 23 of 30. Bergeron leading from Hillman, Hewitt and Hobson, but Hobson has dropped a little bit away from the rest of the group. Cameron Dance right with him there to try and get a position. Hillman's still trying to get the outside to work. Sorry there.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, Cam Dance and Hobbo seem inseparable at this point in time. You are very right. Heilemann, he's trying anything right now, really. Like that bottom line seems to be where the pace is, but Heilemann is just trying out his driving style in his car with different parts of this track to try and understand, can he gain pace on Bergeron anywhere? Because Bergeron, he's already cleared out that gap to a second, and by this next lap probably over a second. So he is really clearing out at the moment, while the guys behind are just trying to find any sort of pace. So Hobson has actually cleared out from Dance a bit, but now Dance is coming under threat from Robbie in the background here. So we've got a little battle pack developing for 6 through to about 8 at the moment.
And we've got 5 laps to go. Have a look at Joel Berkeley. He's made huge inroads on Dance and Robbie while they've been battling there, just using that outside line, using the different line. And you can see Cameron Dance has realised that it is working because he's gone that way as well. And now he's started to break away from James Robbie, and Robbie under pressure from Berkeley. So will Berkeley be able to get the position here on James Robbie? I'm going to say yes, because have a look at the run he's got. Not quite able to get the momentum out of 2, but out of 3 and 4, I think he's going to get it done.
Hey, Berkeley's been making that top line work with this mid pack at the moment, and he gets that momentum off of there, and he's gone. So he's got that position now. Cam Dance is next on his target list there, and they're both taking that top line. Berkeley though with quite a lot of speed through the mid corner there, catching up to Dance there as they come onto the back straight, and now turn 3 and 4. Dance takes what would be classified as like a middle line, sweeps up the track there. Berkeley goes under him, trying to get that line to work. Not quite the way at the moment. Berkeley under him. Looks like he'll get this done. That slide job right up the top there. Block off Dance. And he looks like he's got it done for now. So Berkeley making his way through the field very well, up into 5th place now.
White flag in the air. Alex Bergeron about to come along and complete the final lap of racing. David Hilleman in 2nd position. Lewis Hewitt in 3rd. A huge gap back to Brenton Hobson, and he's under pressure here from Joel Berkeley. Will Berkeley be able to get the position? I don't think there's enough time left, but Alex Bergeron will cross the line and pick up the win. Hellman in 2nd, Hewitt 3rd, Hobson will hold on for 4th, Berkeley in 5th, and Cameron Dance finishes in 6th, with James Robbie in 7th, Trent Gossley in 8th, John Schultz in 9th, Jacob Penno in 10th, and Daniel Stevens rounding out the 11 finishes in this race. Wowee, what an amazing night of racing we've had.
Yeah, it's had it all. It's had great battling. It's had incidents. It's had everything really in this race. So it's for my first experience of sprint car commentating, it has been absolutely awesome. And to see some of these pro drivers come out and show us how it's done, it's really, really cool as well.
So results on screen, and as we said, that Alex Bergeron absolutely dominant, led every lap of the main event. So congratulations to Alex Bergeron. We are going to wrap it up here on SimSpeed on the iRacing Esports Network, because we are over time. We were due to finish at about 20 minutes ago, so we are a little bit over time. So we thank everyone for tuning in tonight. It's been an amazing night of racing here at Williams Grove. We will be back next week for more sprint car action. We'll be here every week for the next 8 weeks here on Tuesday night. Our next broadcast will be Thursday night for the GT1 series over on our channel at SimSpeed, and on Friday night, AOSC action from Circuit Zolder. Brock, thanks for jumping in tonight. It's been awesome fun.
Yeah, no worries, mate. It's been really good to watch these sprint cars and the drivers do their thing, and some awesome racing here tonight at Williams Grove, and keen for the next few rounds to see how it all pans out and how these drivers manage to tackle the different tracks. As we said, make sure you do stay with us here next week. We will be back with more sprint car action. Until then, we thank you very, very much for tuning on behalf of the team behind the scenes here at the ASC, Bob King, and also the team at Download Graphics. We thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second's very close. these guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh, my God.
God, what?